Hi, and welcome back to Real Brewing with Rofaxen. I have my good friend and also editor, Loreandlaw. When he does that. No, I really don't. It's creepy. Whatever. And my lovely wife, Amber Maiden. You at least say hi.
Hi.
Thank you. All right,
You
so.
can see her.
Huh?
You can see her. She doesn't need to say anything.
Fair enough.
Continue.
We are going to continue the beer tasting episode that I started in the last episode. I really don't know what number we're on.
Episode.
Sorry. What did I say?
Episode. Good word.
Alright, there are two main scales that we can use. The 50-point scale and the 20-point scale. Basically, as I said last time, 20 points a little less in depth. The 50-point is a little more in depth. Alright, we're going to start with the 20-point. That's when I do tastings on all of my beers, I actually do two scores. One for the 50, one for the 20. And that's not a bad idea. I think it's a good idea. If I got a random brew out of the store and I'm like, is this good? Is it worth buying again? I normally do the 20-point because it's a little quicker. Alright, so let's start. We're doing one of my Irish stouts. Did I...
Oh no, it's an exploding one.
It's an exploding one.
Oh, luckily that's laminated.
Yeah.
But my black belt isn't.
I don't think it got wet.
Okay. That's what she said? Wait, no.
But then it would smell like delicious Irish stuff.
Yes, it would.
Just kidding. It really didn't get wet.
No, it really would, though. Alright. Oh, my book. Can you move that book out of the way for a minute?
Yeah.
Your book smells like beer.
Exploding
Oh,
beers
no.
sometime happen.
Yeah. You gotta be careful. It seems like the Irish stouts do it more.
The Irish Stout do it more. Something about exploding beers. It's a problem mostly with homebrews. You don't have this with something you buy in the store.
Because it's commercially carbonated.
Make sure your sugar ratio is right. Make sure you're using about 3/4 of a cup of sugar for a 5-gallon batch. And make sure you boil that, Sorry, I'm not good at multitasking here. Okay, that's probably pretty close. It doesn't have to be
Give
exact.
yourself some milk.
I have a problem with the head, too. Oh, that was bad. It wasn't even on purpose. Alright, exploding beers, real quick side note. Make sure you're giving yourself only 3/4 of a cup of sugar. And then you boil that in about a quart of... You don't have to bring it to a boil, but dissolve it in a quart of water. Mix it into the whole 5 gallons so you don't get more sugar in one rather than the other place. Another thing to keep in mind is the warmer a beer is, the more likely it's going to explode. Sometimes just putting it in the refrigerator or even the freezer until it cools down will inactivate it enough that it won't explode. Also, always make sure that you let your beer ferment for 2 weeks or longer. Some beers need to go longer. It depends on your recipe. Because if you only let it go 1 week, you already have sugar in there that the yeast is going to eat, and all of your beers are going to explode worse than this just did.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, so let's get to the 20-point scale. Does somebody have a pen by chance?
Who are you talking to?
Lore, do you have a pen? I'm talking to you.
I don't have a pen.
I forgot, you do always have a pen, which
Yeah.
is nice.
We could always go crazy and be sentimental and have the tiny pen.
Oh, tiny.
No, I don't want to turn out of ink, though.
Okay.
Alright, what we're going to do this time around, normally I would have each of us do judging on the 20-point scale. We're probably just going to get a consensus, thank you, Laura, on the score for each of these different areas. I know, very eloquent.
We only have one half of a beer or so.
1/3.
1/3 of beer, I'm sorry.
Alright, 20-point scale. On this particular scale, we have appearance is 0 to 3 points. Alright, look at that.
That's a stout, and you cannot see through it.
You can't see through it, and this is even in a Pilsner glass, which, if this was in a regular stout glass, it would just be
It'd
black.
be darker, yeah.
So that's a nice, thick brown color. I like the appearance. I have one problem with the appearance, which is a problem I come across a lot.
Cloudy.
There's no head.
Oh, gotcha.
No head at all.
Well, we lost a lot of it out the top, probably.
We did lose a lot out the top, but what happens with a lot of my beers, something I'm trying to still fix, is it bubbles up and right back down really quick.
Yeah.
Now I have that.
Oh, that doesn't count.
Well, Amber Maiden knows how to get ahead.
Oh.
Nice. About $2.
Oh.
But honestly, you should keep a little more head. Now, something with head, I love talking about this, is if you have soap residue in your cup, you're not going to have head. It's going to completely destroy the head. All right, keep that in mind. So, what would you guys give it out of 0 to 3 points? Besides the head, I think it's good. I'd give it a 2.
2.
Too good.
2.
Okay.
It's going to have to be 2 episodes. We'll see how it goes.
Faster, Rofaxen.
All right, let's go on to the next category as aroma, which is 0 to 4 points. What does it smell like? That's a good smell.
Sweet.
Very sweet.
Yes, it's got a sweet smell.
I can smell a little bit of beerness to it,
A bit,
but not a lot.
a
Yeah.
nice hoppy. You can smell the hops.
You can
too. I
definitely
think
smell
this
the
one had
hops.
Cascade in it, and you can really smell those. I love the smell. Now it's my beer, so I love it. But what do you guys think? 0 to 4.
4.
I don't give anything perfect, but 3.
You give it about a 3. Well, I would personally also give it a 4. So I'm going to give the score as a 4.
Okay.
Sorry, you got outvoted.
That's fine. I don't give perfect unless it's like absolute stunning.
And what Lord just said there is actually a good idea, because sometimes you'll have a really good beer and you'll give it a really great score. Then you'll come back and be like, but this beer is even better.
Yeah.
So don't score too high. Try to be conservative, but also be honest. All right, taste is out of 10 points. But what's nice is it breaks it down into what you're tasting. Okay, first, hop malt balance. The hops and the malts, are there enough hops and enough malts? Do they taste right together? Is it too hoppy? Is it too malty? Or what's going on? This is going to give you 4 points. So let's taste it. That's too hoppy.
It's a little hoppy.
Very, very hoppy.
That's way too
Which
hoppy.
doesn't make me that hoppy. I mean...
Aww.
Oh, because you meant hoppy.
Very funny.
It's very hoppy. Now, in the 20-point scale, it doesn't break it down by malt and hop and balance. It's just the hops, the malt, and the balance. You can taste the malt in there,
Especially after.
Yeah,
but
there's still...
Like
there are
an
so
aftertaste,
many
yeah.
hops on top of it, and the balance
a
is
hot
so
aftertaste.
off that I would score this low. I would personally give it, because the balance is just so far off in this beer, I would give it a 1. But
Out of 10?
out of 4.
Oh, out of 4.
I'd give it a 2.
I give it a 2. I mean, I've tasted much, much more
Yeah.
disgusting.
Well, I guess I was outvoted. I'm going to give it a 2 this time then. All right, and then I read down under taste is also aftertaste out of 3. So out of 3 points,
1.
the only aftertaste I get is that heavy,
Bitter.
overpowering, bitter hop aftertaste.
They're sweet, but then that kicks in.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
I would
do
give it
not-
a 1.
I do
Yeah.
not like that
1.
1.
Too
So we're
hoppy.
going to give that a 1.
This is the kit, right?
Yes, this is the
This
kit.
is the Irish dog kit. Okay.
Then the last one is the mouthfeel, the carbonation, the bubbles, all of that. I don't have... Well,
It's not...
these bubbles would be good for an IPA beer,
Yes.
maybe,
That's
Yes.
a good.
or a lighter beer. But if I'm drinking a stout, I expect the velvety texture
yeah.
that Guinness would have.
It doesn't foam enough.
It doesn't.
And these,
With-
yeah,
That's probably
it's not
another
it.
problem with the head.
It could be. It's surprisingly less related than you may think.
Huh.
But it could be related. So I would give the mouthfeel a 1, really.
Out of 4?
Out of 3.
Out of 3. I've had worse.
Maybe it's
Yeah,
two.
two.
Two? We can do it too.
Because it could have been flat completely.
That's true.
I mean, there was still a mouthfeel.
It's not quite right, but it's not
Right.
terrible.
That's true.
Next.
Overall impression, 1 to 3. You know, I would still
1,
rather have this than anything I buy in the store. 1, really.
2.
Oh,
What do
you
you
just
think?
had him sway. I still say 2, because honestly, you're right about in the sword.
Right.
This is good compared to that.
But
I would
it's
still
not
drink
the
this.
best beer in the world.
It is not. There is
I
no
don't think
comparison
so.
to the best beer in the world.
Which
I
was
love
your
that
home
beer.
Irish stout? All grain Irish stout.
Yes.
I always count how many categories you're supposed to have and how many categories I do have,
Just in case.
just in case. Alright, now math. That's not my strong point. 2, 4, 8. There's another 4. That makes 12. That makes 13. Alright, this one got a 13. Not one of my best beers. If you look at the 20-point scale under the scoring guide, good is 12 to 14,
Oh,
and this
dear.
got a 13. So it actually scored just like the Sam Adams. A good beer, but not a
Excellent.
It's potable.
excellent beer. Yeah.
Yes.
And with improvement, with the this one I added too many hops is what happened.
Mhm.
And if I had adjusted those hops, it would have done significantly better.
Oh, yeah.
But this is a good beer. So now I know, well, it wasn't a complete disaster. If it's a complete disaster, I'd probably scrap the recipe. If it wasn't even good, I'd probably scrap the recipe. But I know it's good, but I know I've got a lot of room to say very good or excellent. And I can look at this. I keep the whole scoring scheme and say, okay, 1 was right. 1, 2, 3, 4 categories down. 1 hop malt balance. That's my problem. That's what I need to change. So I'd write a note in my brew journal saying, use less hops. And then I make it again and see what happens. We're running over on time, actually. So, I don't know. This may be 2 episodes. Who knows? Anyway, point of the matter is we're done trying my first Irish Stout. And in the next episode, we're going to use the 50-point scale to try my next Irish Stout. Also brewed from extracts, I believe. Alright, we will see you then. Thanks for joining.
Over and out.